Hello, myself Sunil Ramakrishnan Nair. Here basically we are discussing one of the topic that is city creation. City creation basically we are discussing one of the topic that is India account. In India account basically we are discussing SBI account, Amazon account, and after 2 days basically the big earthquake is going to happen in India. So in really basically it's not going to happen. Just taking as an example. So one of the person told that till now basically we discussed lots of things. Yeah, basically. In this basically we discussed that 100 crore child is going to come from the lava data. In that basically Sunil or Nair generation was ended by Mumbai city, and that means heart of India basically. That means India and Indian nationality ended. Sunil or Nair next generation. Then basically we saw that also basically that uh, that planet basically that is the planet where basically the 100 crore child what they are going to think basically that was basically dumped into the earth planet, and whatever thinking basically that was created by that planet basically, and nobody can change that thinking basically, that basically we had discussed. And then basically one of the cheap basically one of the company of the USA basically created one chip also. From that basically was controlling the each and every human body energies basically, and he told that basically I will change the each and every thinking of the human. But you are going to change how basically? That is the question, because source is given by the planet basically. Whatever human is going to think, whatever human body basically can think na, that data only basically that planet can create. So repeating the word, that planet only basically can create the thinking data. They only have the authority. So one other person told that the thinking idea basically only that planet can give basically, right? So here basically the Earth planet basically don't have any type of authority basically. If they say that basically we have changed this thinking basically, that thinking basically you are changed basically how basically that data basically the base data is what basically there should be one base data, right? There should be one base data, so that base data is coming from that planet only. So in this world basically the groups basically whoever basically is thinking basically whatever basically thinking, for example I am recording this video, that also basically idea basically came from that planet basically. So just a minute. So whatever basically idea, this was idea basically. So whatever idea basically human can think. So entire education, if I say basically, entire education that has came from that planet. If I say that entire education system basically, that is basically came from that planet. If I say this, then it would be wrong or right way. It's 100% right way. Here basically I can add 100%. But that planet basically might be connected with set of galaxies and planet. That is different thing. But the source is basically coming from that planet basically. So one of the person told that you basically can't think a single word basically without that planet permission basically. Whatever planet basically approves that thinking only basically you are going to do. So here basically the education sector, each and every ideas, each and every software companies, each and every mobile creation, this creation, that creation, MBA, MBBS, this, that, CA, BCom, MCom, BSc, MA, each and every basically stuff. Hardworking, everything basically is coming from that planet. So human basically can't think a single. So one person told that I will change the entire universe data basically. What data basically is coming from the universe basically. But that how you are going to change here basically. The source is coming from that planet. Whatever basically your brain is going to think na basically, that is coming from that planet basically. That you can create lots of people says that basically Earth planet has created lots of planet blood cells basically. That basically that is not the achievement basically, but the source has came from that planet only. That you understand, that you try to understand. The source data on the basis of what basically the human has created the blood cells basically, that is the city creation equal to blood cells. That data basically is coming from where basically? The source data is coming from where basically? That is coming from that planet basically. So one of the person told that everything is done rehearsal basically. Each and every stuff has done rehearsal. Then only basically it has came to Earth planet. So one person told that if you are basically want to be, if you basically got assume that basically you got some new post. Assume that basically you are software developer and you got that post of software senior software developer. So senior software developer means it takes time to get the adjustment basically in the new post basically. So it takes few days basically to adjust in the new post basically. Same way basically the planet basically gives the energy basically in Earth planet. That energy also basically takes some time to adjust in the Earth planet. So in advance everything basically comes into the Earth planet, and after that only basically the child creation happens. So you can just imagine how the world has created basically. So you can't create a single energy basically. Then one of the person told that every basically energy has came from that planet. Then why basically the war is happening? Yeah, basically. That is also a question basically. Why the war basically is happening? Why Earth planet is doing the war basically? So just a minute. So one person told that everything is basically coming from that planet. Then why the war is happening? So few people told that the combination of the data basically which is given by the planet basically. So our planet basically has created some combination. In that combination basically they created something very dangerous thing. So that means one of the person told that the combination data basically which the Earth planet is creating, that was sent by the universe group basically. That was basically uh, connected with which all energies of planets, because whatever combination you creates here, that combination must exist there basically in the universe basically. If it is not existing, that means you are going to create it. But if you are going to create and then basically if any problem basically occurs, so that problem basically somebody might have tried, because you can't create the 100%. Why? Because the thinking basically comes to our planet, that is also coming from the tested basically data. The rehearsal basically are done and then basically the data is coming. But here basically you are directly basically dumping the data without any testing basically of the universe, without testing of universe basically. So one of the person told that something basically we in universe or basically something basically in Earth planet, something basically we need to create which would check basically the universe combination, whether this combination exists or basically this combination will work, it will not work. So that the entire creation basically which is getting created, before that only basically everything gets checked. Few people basically creates everything basically and then basically they tells that basically "No, basically this will not work." So they basically finish that area. In some basically house basically this happens. They basically do the interior designer and they basically say that nahi yaar, nahi jam raha. So the entire interior designer basically gets waste. So that type of people also basically are there. That type of people also basically are there. So we're not able to believe it basically. Just a minute. So one person told that the combination basically need to create. So that basically only US group basically have the authority. Nobody else can create that basically. You can create mathematics, you can create statistics, you can create English, you can create science, this, that, each and computer, mobile technology, electronic engineering, everything basically, MTech, BTech, basically that you can create basically. But you can't create the universe combination. That you can create basically. But that required the permission and lots of risk data basically are involved in. Why? Because whatever thing basically you are getting in Earth planet, that is coming from the planet basically, which is already they have already tested basically. That data basically it is coming basically. That data basically it is coming basically. So how basically you can do? For someone, one of the person told that basically if we also basically create some planet and there also basically we will do some rehearsal, and then basically we dump that data to our planet, then basically it will work. That basically you need to check basically. For that, ISRO and NASA groups are basically there. Whatever Earth planet basically is thinking basically, that is approved by the NASA and ISRO group. They only basically approves each and every thinking basically. Why? Because first basically blood cells gets creates, and then basically the idea gets connects. Without blood cells, basically you can't think. You can think basically without blood cells. Then few people told that basically the robot is not there. Basically, their blood cells exist basically. So you want to say that basically somebody will hijack your brain. That is basically called as hypnotism. From that, basically some like this type of thing. Basically, police department basically do. So they basically will hypnotize you, and that basically each and everything basically will happen. If you are saying sleeping in the bed, and they basically can turn you basically from turn the direction basically from bed to left to right. This whole thing basically happens through hypnotism. This only police group can do, basically. Nobody else basically have the permission. And police group basically don't do this type of activity. If they basically want to display that basically we are very dangerous, then basically they can do basically. And that basically they do also basically. They literally do basically. You will not able to believe it basically. You watch each and every videos basically of each and every house basically. They do basically. They do. They literally do. So one of the person told that who actually given the permission this group? Yeah, this army group basically got permission from where basically to basically turn body basically from left to right. Who has given the permission? They basically can enter anybody's house and they basically can damage anybody's head. Who actually given the permission to this group basically? Then they told that basically this was approved by the Prime Minister of India and President of India, and immediately with the President basically left also after doing every task. So one few people basically tells that nobody is there basically in this world basically who basically can ask us basically why you have had damaged your head, anybody's head, and basically how you are basically given the turn the body of one person to left to right. हिंदुस्तान तुम्हारे बाप का है, तुम कुछ भी करो. That basically that person is telling that basically हिंदुस्तान हमारे बाप का है, हम कुछ भी करेंगे. We can basically damage anybody's head, we can basically damage anybody's eyes, we can basically damage anybody's body parts, we can do anything basically. We can basically turns body of one person to another, from for example he's sleeping this side and his body basically turned to this side, so he can basically do anything basically. Why? Because Hindustan unke baap ka hai. And in this basically the software industry also supports this group. So there basically the earthquake also connected now. So there also basically the earthquake connected. So one person told that here basically, actually, this type of idea basically universe group told that basically we have basically not sent this type of idea basically. We have not sent this type of idea basically from universe that basically you damage anybody's head, you basically turn basically body from left to right. This type of thing basically we have not sent the ideas basically. That is where Earth planet people basically has done to tell that basically see basically how powerful we are, how powerful basically we are to tell that basically. So one person told that Hindustan तुम्हारे बाप का है भाई. You do ना whatever you want to do. Nobody is basically there to ask any बंदे की. Bollywood group says that basically Hindustan हमारा है भाई. So they basically can do anything. I myself is the example basically. I went to Mumbai and then basically I had not got the job. So that is one topic basically that we are going to discuss. In that basically it's a great topic. It will be the great topic. One of the greatest topic. So one person told that yeah basically who actually gives the permission basically. For example, I will take one story. Basically. This is real story. Basically, whether this is checks correct or not wrong. Basically, that basically you check. Basically, how you are going to check. Basically, that would be the dangerous thing. So one person told that one person basically got a marriage basically in Bangalore. He was basically doing the fasting of Hanumanji since 35 years. Since 35 years, basically, he was doing the fasting. So just a minute. So he was doing the fasting of Hanumanji since 30 years, 35 years. He was basically from Bangalore. He got basically one marriage. Why basically? Because he was getting more salary from the friends and some group of friends basically told that basically we have to finish his career basically. So in that basically the friends group only basically done one plan basically. In that plan it was like this. They told that first we will do his marriage basically with HIV/AIDS girl. So in that basically the he will not get job in any of the company. So in that childhood friend basically also supported that group basically. That basically marriage basically done. Now basically they thought that basically yeah, if his next generation basically might create problem to us basically then. So before that basically generation end, before that basically the Hanuman temple basically was told that basically this person basically is going to do marriage with the HIV/AIDS girl. So Hanuman group told that basically let him die basically. You just give money to us basically. So the Hanuman temple basically taken the money. In that basically the Ram group, Sri Ram temple also basically was involved basically. This is correct or wrong basically you have to check basically. Because this is connecting to very big level of issue basically. In future basically. It's going to create very big level issue. And that would be the entire north. That is UP, Bihar and Madhya Pradesh. So one of the person told that Hanuman temple and Ram temple also basically taken the money and they basically told that basically you can do basically his marriage basically to HIV/AIDS girl. To HIV/AIDS girl. To which girl? HIV/AIDS girl. In this basically the Sri Ram group and the Hanuman temple also basically given the permission. Let him basically you just give the money basically. We will be doing his we will be we are approving this marriage. We are approving this marriage. So in this Ram temple and Hanuman temple also basically given the permission. So they also given the permission. In that basically, one of the UP person basically told that basically, yeah, in future basically anybody will track that basically Hanuman temple and Ram temple group has done this type of activity, then it will create problem to Ram temple and Hanuman temple. It might possible that it might create a problem to entire UP, Bihar and Madhya Pradesh also. So he told that basically we will finish his generation only. So for that basically they ended his generation only through Nasbandi. This is real story. Yeah? This is real story of one of the Bangalore city basically. And this has done basically in Bangalore city. In that basically they done the generation end also. In that basically they thought that basically we have finished his next generation also. If he will exist, then he might create problem to more to us. He will spoiling our name. He will uploading the videos. This that basically whatever thing basically he is going to do basically. So they basically plan one murder case also basically. That person basically has done one murder basically. In that basically they used that marriage group basically girl. In that basically that divorce case converted into murder case basically. So due to this case basically he was not getting the job basically in any of the country basically. Any of the country, yeah, basically because passport also basically was red sign basically. Currently war is ongoing. That also you see. So one of the person and Indian nationality are there across the world. That also you see basically. So he told that basically he will not. His passport basically has done the red sign basically because he has done murder basically, and he basically was not getting a single job also. And this is real story of the Bangalore city. One of the Bangalore city. One of the software professional basically was that. One of the software company basically has done this. Why? Because the Abhiman of software companies. Abhiman of software companies owner basically. They basically got some money and they basically finished his generation, his next generation also they finished, and his career also basically they finished. So one of the person told that, yeah, which kind of company basically are in Bangalore? This is real story of Bangalore, huh, basically. If you want to check, basically, you must check basically because this is going to affect to entire north. That is UP, Bihar, and Madhya Pradesh. This is going to affect to entire north. So he told that he's basically now a murderer basically. So he will not get job. Why? Because if HR group will search his resume, he has uploaded resume in his one of the portal. There basically nobody can view his resume. Why? Because he has done the murder basically. So one of the person told that, yeah, which kind of people basically are there, yeah, in this earth planet? They basically don't allow a Sida Sada person. He was basically very peace person. Basically. If anybody slaps, basically he basically gives his second side also. So there is no value of Sida Sada people. That because he got AIDS. This is real story. You will not able to believe it basically. Then basically his generation also basically ended by Bangalore basically. That time basically which party was ruling that basically I don't know. But in central basically the Congress was ruling. But in Bangalore I think basically the BJP was ruling. So both party basically came into picture. And without that group basically nobody, not a single political task basically happens in India basically. That is basically somebody is selling that. So in this basically they ended his generation. He basically is done nothing. Now basically his career basically is finished. And this is real story basically. You will not able to believe it. So companies do these type of activities. So this is real story. You will not able to believe it. So one of the person told that we are basically universe group basically. We have never sent this type of idea basically. Yeah, Sunil. That basically you think up to this level. That kind of idea basically we have never sent. That your people basically has created. That is not our problem. That your people basically has created. And ideas basically are given by who? Which group basically? Bollywood group. So which group? Bollywood. So that is this group basically. See, So this is basically Bollywood. So one of the person told that Bollywood creates everything basically. Bollywood basically creates everything basically. In that basically they get also lots of things. So they have got lots of things basically. And they are going to keeps on getting lots of things also basically. So one person told that who is controlling Bollywood यार basically बॉलीवुड को कौन कंट्रोल कर रहा है that Bollywood says and they basically literally do basically some group basically might be controlling Bollywood no basically they basically can't do anything basically self basically because everything is scripted basically without script basically they don't do a single task also if they are eating anything basically that is also scripted basically you will not able to do it. They are eating breakfast they are having dinner they are basically having lunch whatever breakfast basically they are having whatever dinner basically they are having whatever lunch they are having that all are scripted basically that is decided long before basically so another person told that their lifestyle basically is like that so here basically mumbai basically mumbai is controlled by bollywood group only basically few people say that businessman you can see yes basically I can see that businessman अरे वो तो he's a character of Bollywood basically. Are you sure basically? Yes. We have that face basically. Somebody has created that face and it was displayed in front of the Supreme Court, High Courts. And then basically the face was approved with. What basically you are telling here basically? Yes, basically. And in the censor would also basically approve that. So that was very dangerous thing here basically. You are telling basically correct or basically you are just like this only basically you are telling. So that is correct. Basically. That is 100% correct. So one of the person told that, yeah, then basically what is Bollywood, yeah? Then what is Bollywood basically? Then one person told that you have not got job, no basically. That is also somebody basically from Bollywood group has done. So whoever group basically might be, that we are going to discuss basically one topic. In that basically time basically when I am going to discuss basically, that time basically world must exist basically. That is the only condition basically. But the Mumbai will exist basically, Vadodara also will exist. But world must exist basically. So one person told that currently where is the world moving with? Because according to that only the entire creation basically is happening. And that basically we have discussed long before basically few videos basically. Not few videos basically, but lots of videos basically we have discussed. And whatever basically in front of the world that are all are wrong basically if somebody is advertising that basically देखो भाई बॉलीवुड हमारे इशारे पे चल रहा है that means Bollywood is running on the base of what we say basically that is all wrong that basically everybody knows so whatever things basically you see na basically that and basically whatever displayed in the books basically that all are wrong basically that all are wrong why that is way that basically we don't know why basically it's that way that basically we don't few people says that that story basically 1 lakh year age person basically is giving the data to the data means energy to that child also which is going to come that is connecting up to this level basically but it's very dangerous sequence basically it's very dangerous sequence and most complicated sequence basically. If 1 lakh year age person basically is giving the energy to that going to come child basically that is inside the lava, that means you can just imagine basically how the dangerous world is. And in this basically you are creating cheap. So that's very dangerous. But that is systematic basically. The code is going to be converted into the rough coding is going to convert it into modular coding. That connects to like that basically, and that can be correct also basically. That idea basically can be correct also. You can't say that basically whose idea basically is wrong, whose idea is right, because idea basically is coming from that planet basically. So each idea basically is connecting to any of the space basically, each and every idea, because there are many problems basically in this world that can be recorrect, that can be correct from many types of idea basically. In that basically, that idea which was rejected basically, that idea basically was connecting to that problem solution basically, and that only basically you rejected. So whatever idea basically in this world na basically, you can't ignore that idea basically, mark my word basically. So you can't ignore a single person basically. For example, I am telling this basically that 1 lakh year age person basically data are basically coming up to the child also. That is the lava data. Up to lava data basically they are giving the data. Then one of the person told that what about that planet basically which are giving the ideas basically. That means that group basically know that basically that 1 lakh age person is also here basically in Earth planet somewhere basically sitting, and his family is also sitting somewhere. मतलब उसका पूरा परिवार बेसिकली इस इन सम कहीं पे बैठा हुआ है 1 लाख एज पर्सन, एंड ही periodically visit the earth means local public area also sometime basically visit, because every time basically and mostly lots of people says that they basically don't visit, their people basically visits. Just a minute. So one of the person told that ये क्या है यार basically, what is this. One Bangalore person basically got AIDS, then basically his Nasbandi was done, and then basically he charged as a murder case. Basically, he's a murderer basically. That means Bangalore people basically the BJP groups and the central basically Congress, that are this kind of people basically. And the software companies are like this basically. One of the person told that also basically. That software companies basically are like this, where basically the Bangalore is suffering from the water basically. But mostly basically that I have already given idea basically of 100 year basically. So we basically can't say here basically. For few people basically, why basically the entire Bangalore is supposed to suffer basically. For few people basically, why entire Bangalore is suffering. So that 100 year basically water is already given. But in that basically it's written that Sunil Nair basically has visited and he has not got the job. That will be always there. That will be always there. So that basically we are not discussing. That is basically happened due to few people here basically. And in India, basically, cricket basically is the god of public basically. For cricket, basically, they basically finish anybody also basically. They can give anyone AIDS also. They basically can give Nasbandi also. They basically can give anything basically on the name of cricket basically. So cricket basically was used. Cricket is used. Get cricket basically is using like this way. So cricketer basically know this basically. They might be 100% knowing basically. They might be knowing basically 100%. That is basically they are not fool basically. That basically their cricket basically is using like this way. So few people says that the Bangalore incidents which was happened now, in that basically political connection was there, cricket connection was there, and companies basically connection or also basically was there. In that basically lots of people says that mafia connection also was there basically. Because political people are connected with lots of bad people also, and software companies are also connected basically. Lots of people say that software company are basically. Are you sure basically? You don't know software company are basically. You don't know which kind of software companies managers are, owner basically are, software delivery heads are. They are very dangerous basically. If you will go into detail of these people, basically they are very dangerous. You will not able to believe it basically. That these are software company owner basically. They basically plans AIDS marriage. They basically plans Nasbandi marriage. They basically plans murder case basically. We basically can't believe it basically. Yeah. So one of the person told that this is world basically. In this, every time, any type of people basically you will get. Any type of people basically you are going to get. So in this, that person basically came into with that basically. And if AIDS basically has got, then basically there is no medicine of AIDS, and he basically, at last basically, he died basically. And after died basically, nothing has happened in the world. Basically. Nothing has happened in the Indian nationality which currently exists. Nothing has happened in this world basically. I am telling you basically. Nothing is going to happen in the world basically to Indian nationality. That I promise basically. Nothing is going to happen. That I promise you basically. So one of the person told that that is world basically. That is world. So just a minute. So one person basically done and entire nationality suffered. This is everything is done basically. And this is real story. You will not able to believe basically. If you want to do inquiry, na, you do the inquiry in Bangalore basically. In the IT city. That is known as IT city. Basically. And lots of people says that in Bangalore basically it's a Infosys basically. Infosys and IBM. Whatever they say na basically that happens in Bangalore city. So one of the person told that this was told by Infosys that do his Nasbandi, do his aids, give him aids, and then basically charge murder case. Basically, this was told by Infosys. Basically, that is not possible. Yeah, one of the person told that Infosys basically can't do this type of activity. IBM basically group basically can't do this type of activity. Some basically company basically might be there who might have done this type of activity, but everything is done. Na, basically, everything is done. Nationality are also counted. Now basically you can't do anything. So one of the person told that this is the world. Basically. So in this, Bollywood group basically plays most important role because they displace everything basically. They say that basically this is world basically, and we have displayed the world in the form of movies, in the form of theater, in the form of serials, in the form of advertising. We have displayed it. Basically. So you see basically that is Bollywood, that is Earth planet basically. We have displayed everything basically. So one of the person told that in this basically the Bollywood group has done than anything basically about because they are displaying that that person basically got AIDS, that person basically got Nasbandi, and that person basically died. That also they have displayed basically. See basically that person died, so that was display in front of IT industry basically. See basically that person died. See that person basically died. So one person told that how many nationality basically are in this world basically. So they told that Indian nationality are Pakistanis are there, Italian is there, European is there, American are there, Asian countries are there. Like this, basically many nationality basically exist. In this, basically Indian nationality 100% going to exist after these all incidents. So one person told that on the name of cricket, basically they will do anything basically, and they have done it basically. person told that, "Bhai, in Dubai, basically, how many Indian nationality are there? Basically, there are 50 percentage are Indian. Basically, yeah, basically, you don't know. Basically, in Iran, basically, how many Indian nationality are that? Basically, don't know. Basically, because their war is happening, and most of people basically came back to India. And what about Dubai? There also it's like that, basically, but there basically war basically is not happening. So one person told that why basically you have counted this here basically because each and every ideas basically are the property of each and every nationality. For example, one person told that chartered accountant degree basically is the idea of India. So India basically is the owner of that particular idea. And that idea basically is that thousands building thousand city basically you can see in that India basically that state yeah basically we can see that state and that we can state that we can see that thousand cities also that thousand cities equal to chartered accountant. That is the chartered accountant degree basically. That is the property of India country. That is the property of India country. So just a minute. So one of the person told that that means you want to say that each and every idea is basically a property of any of the country basically. That basically you want to say. Yes, basically. So how many ideas are there and who are the property owner of that each and every idea basically. You have the list of that data basically. And which from nationality they have, which nationality has created that idea. Because एक idea जो बदल दे आपकी दुनिया. So you have the list of that all basically ideas which basically has created in this world. Then one person told that need to check here basically. This kind of question basically nobody has asked in this world. Basically. So this question basically was supposed to ask. This question basically lots of people says that this was not asked basically. Yes, this was asked basically. This was asked. How basically this was asked? That are lots of movies basically theaters are there. Lots of serials are there. They have asked basically the questions. And that basically is in Mumbai. And that is in front of the world. But in front of the world basically that is Kolkata. They are controlling the Bollywoods. So one of the person told that here basically we never thought this type of thing also basically can happen basically in this world. So currently basically war is ongoing. So that is basically for what purpose here? That basically we are not able to understand. Because all ideas basically are coming from the planets and all idea basically are created in the earth planet also. The death data are also there. So for what purpose actually war is ongoing? So no, that was basically there was no answer here. What might be the purpose basically behind the war? Basically? That he want to become most powerful person. He want to become most richest person. He want basically lots of money. For that basically they have started war. because you can't say anything with it. For which purpose the war has started? That's very difficult to say. With. Lots of people says that if in this world basically the Ram temple and Hanuman temple group basically can do this type of activities, then you can able to imagine basically how the world has reached. That person generation basically was ended, his Nasbandi was done, and he basically given one AIDS girl for marriage, and then basically he was charged as a murderer with the approval of Ram temple and Hanuman temple, and he was doing the fasting of 35 years. So you can just imagine how the world has reached, and it has crossed the boundary. The North group basically has crossed all the boundaries because Ram temple and Hanuman temple means North group basically. That is UP, Bihar, and Madhya Pradesh. They have crossed all the boundaries, and this is the real story. This is the real story. Few people says that the people basically who are basically ruling the Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, and Madhya Pradesh, they know that basically which kind of people they are with, but they have crossed the boundary basically. And this is the real story. If you want to see the data, then you can see basically find out basically in one of the hospital basically where his he basically convert he sorry check the marriage register basically where which marriage basically was that on the base of that marriage basically he got converted into AIDS. That basically that time basically you will get which was that area. And lots of people says that they basically do the advertising also. So this is the real story of Bangalore city. And then basically he has done the second marriage. That time basically he tracked that he was basically not got the AIDS, just effect was there. Of that basically he got the medicine, but his generation was ended by that first marriage. So Mumbai basically girl basically told that basically Sunil, you are basically generation was ended basically. That means you had done the Nasbandi. Then he told that basically no basically I have not done Nasbandi. But in that basically somebody tracked that basically. That your Nasbandi was happened in this time period. Basically. Doctor given the exact number also basically. This particular year basically the your generation basically was ended. And he was basically doing the fasting of Hanumanji for 35 years. In that basically the Hanuman temple also basically cheated that person basically. So who is going to believe to Hanuman basically now? Who is going to believe to Ram temple now? And this is a real story basically of Bangalore city. So North group has crossed their boundary. And nobody is basically to ask that group. Who is going to ask basically? Because their Boris Johnson basically is from UP basically. He basically have full power basically. He basically have full power. He can do anything basically. Lots of people say that Clinton is basically from Uttar Pradesh. So they have basically full power basically. They basically can do anything basically. Why? Because they have got the president power basically. If you have basically you are the president of America basically, you basically have the full power basically. So that's basically the UP, Bihar, and Madhya Pradesh. They are basically up to this level post basically, so they can do anything basically. They can do basically any marriage with the HIV/AIDS girl. They basically can end the generation and then basically they can charge the murder case. उनके बाप का है basically हिंदुस्तान. Nobody is supposed to ask basically to that group. Who is going to ask basically? Nobody is there basically in this India basically who is going to ask. But world basically can ask India. World is also basically not asking. World is supposed to ask basically that what is happening in India basically. If you can't basically handle that person basically, then basically tell him to leave India basically. Unnecessary. Why basically you are killing that particular person? Basically you have killed that person basically. And this is real story basically of North group basically. That is UP, Bihar and Madhya Pradesh. This is real story, yeah, basically. If you want to watch, basically you can watch the register of marriage basically where the AIDS was happened. That person basically was Sida Sada basically. He basically not told a single word basically. Why? Because he was basically doing the fasting of Hanumanji basically for 35 years basically. After that also basically the Hanumanji group basically told that basically do the marriage with AIDS girl and then basically end his generation also. So they basically ended his generation also. And after that basically that person basically died because AIDS person basically can't have their life basically more than particular year basically. And there is no medicine of AIDS also. And this is real story. If you want to watch, you can watch the marriage register. So one person told that that girl basically was a rich girl. Then he told that yes, basically she was very rich. So one person told that rich girl basically, rich family basically are like this. Then they told that basically that basically need to check basically that all rich family are like this only. So rich family list basically counted that all rich family are like this only, that they basically do generation end plan and like this type of plan basically they are doing. So this is the real story. You will not able to do it, believe it. So here basically what was that basically? So universe group was telling that basically we have not sent this type of idea basically, that you have created that type of idea. We have not created. So human basically has created which kind of ideas that need to check it. That is the combination of the energies. That how many ideas human has created. In that basically which kind of combination ideas are there in this world. In this world basically how many combinations of ideas exist. That basically need to check that which kind of ideas basically which is created by human combination basically that human has created these all ideas and on the base of what data basically they have created. And that is the basically next project basically of data science, because that data basically might be existing but just need to collect basically nothing else. So in next video basically we are going to see a little bit more about this topic, that is ideas.